Semiconductor Department is pioneering many new applications for the latest tool of progress, electronic solid-state computers.
The first big chip rivalry started in the 1970s, a time when the United States was way out in front in both designing and making chips. But things were changing fast in Japan. Leaders like Tadashi Sasaki of Hayakawa, now Sharp, saw early on that making things smaller could change consumer electronics forever. American companies like Fairchild and Intel were busy with older chip technologies, PMOS and NMOS, built mainly for the military and early computers. Meanwhile, Japanese engineers got really good at a newer technology called CMOS. CMOS used way less power, which made it perfect for pocket calculators and other portable gadgets that were becoming popular. So by the 1980s, when the whole industry switched over to CMOS, Japan was already ahead of everyone else. This head start got a big boost from Japan's government stepping in to help. In 1976, Japan's Ministry of International Trade and Industry, MITI, started the VLSI program, which pooled research money from major companies like Hitachi, NEC, and Toshiba, so they could catch up to and pass American chip makers, backed by tight-knit business groups with banks that would lend them huge amounts of money. Japanese companies could keep investing heavily even when times were tough. They zeroed in on memory chips called DRAM, nicknamed the jelly beans of the industry because they're simple and standardized. Since every company's DRAM did basically the same job, whoever could make them cheapest and in the highest quantities would win. The damage to the American industry was severe. In 1975, US companies made almost 100% of the world's DRAM chips. By 1986, that had collapsed to just 5%. People accused Japanese companies of selling chips for less than it cost to make them, just to push American competitors out of business. The clearest piece of evidence was a 1985 memo from Hitachi telling its sales teams to undercut competitors' prices by 10% and don't quit till you win. Between 1985 and 1986 alone, the US chip industry lost close to $2 billion and 25,000 jobs, and the country felt like it was in real trouble.
Last week, I placed new duties on some Japanese products in response to Japan's inability to enforce their trade agreement with us on electronic devices called semiconductors.
In June 1985, the US chip industry's trade group filed a formal complaint claiming Japan was keeping its own market closed to outside competitors. President Reagan's administration usually preferred hands-off trade policy, but the pressure from a united industry plus worried military officials was too strong to ignore. In 1987, a defense advisory board warned that losing American chip-making capability could leave the country dangerously dependent on Japan for military technology. This led to the 1986 Semiconductor Trade Agreement, a groundbreaking deal where Japan agreed to stop dumping chips worldwide. In a secret side agreement, Japan also said it expected foreign companies to capture 20% of Japan's own chip market within 5 years. When it became clear in 1987 that Japan wasn't actually stopping the dumping in other countries, President Reagan slapped 100% tariffs on $300 million worth of Japanese electronics, the first time the US had punished a close ally like this since World War II. Japan's decline wasn't only about tariffs and trade deals, it also came down to American companies making a bold strategic move. In 1985, Intel's CEO Andy Grove made the tough call to walk away from the memory chip business entirely, even though Intel had invented it, and bet the company's future on microprocessors for the booming personal computer market. While Japan stayed locked into memory chips, a business with huge volume but thin profit margins, American companies moved into more complex, high-value chips where clever design and software mattered more than just manufacturing efficiency. At the same time, a new kind of business was born that would later become the industry's biggest weak spot and set the precedent of US and China rivalry. In 1987, Morris Chang started the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, with backing from Taiwan's government. TSMC pioneered something new, a factory that only makes chips designed by other companies. This let American companies go fabless, meaning they could focus purely on designing chips without spending the roughly $10 billion it takes to build their own factory. Companies like Nvidia, Qualcomm, and Broadcom all rely on this model. This split design from manufacturing and created a new world order. America kept the brain power behind chip design, while the actual physical manufacturing moved to East Asia. By 2019, the US was still the leader in chip design revenue, but its share of the world's manufacturing capacity had fallen from 37% in 1990 to just 12%.